Welcome to the Big House, home of the Michigan Wolverines. As we'll see a squad from the Big Ten, the Illinois Fighting Illini, taking on the 11th ranked team in the land, the Michigan Wolverines. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. Illinois will kick it off to get us underway. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. So Michigan's offense will take the first swing of the game. And last week, you want to talk about a guy using every tool in the back from the running back position. David, this guy did it.
He was a monster. And I think when you turned on the tape this week, you saw it, man. So many different ways he could hurt you, and he could be a focal point of this offense. The defense, they know well and good of what happened last week. And their first objective this week, Palmer, is to stop that dude.
Yeah, they know the entire offense goes through him. All week long, they've been stressing, tackling, staying in your gaps, winning at the point of attack, getting as many hats to the football as humanly possible, because you can't shut this guy down. You can only hope to contain him, but what a challenge this defense faces today.
He can't make the grab. It's incomplete, but there is a flag, and I believe this is going to be pass interference.
And the defender just way too handsy on that last play. You could see all the contact as the ball was in the air. He simply can't do it, and the referee's caught it.
Keeping it on the ground with the running back. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Using his legs, it's Claiborne. A pickup of 8 now to convert this 3rd and 2. And the Wolverines come to the line on 3rd and short, hoping to keep the drive alive. Back to pass, it's Underwood. Grab near the sticks, it's Stewart. That'll get the job done and move the chains, and they'll mark the ball at the 45. To the ground with the back. Got enough for the first, and he's still going. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. The Wolverines are on the move. From the shotgun, they'll run it. And this one will be stopped for no gain. They've got a solid drive working, but now looking at 2nd and 11. Back to pass. Lets it fly deep downfield. Oh, he can't hang on to the football. A big play sitting right there for the taking, and they can't get it done early in this one. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Makes the catch. It's Pope. And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first. They'll try to get something out of this drive and kick the field goal here on 4th down. That thing would have hit a string in the middle of the uprights. Perfect. And that'll put the first points of the game on the board. It's 3-0.
And he'll take that first drive. Like, you wanted a touchdown, but you gave the people here at home something to cheer about on that first drive. Move the football enough to get your kicker an opportunity and to put 3 on the board.
Just into the end zone, and he'll bring it out. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. So Illinois' offense will try to get something going with their first possession. And Jesse, this is going to be a fun test. This receiver, if you leave him in man coverage, you might be in for some trouble.
And so when you get him in the one-on-ones, you got to throw his way. He's a really good route runner. He can catch the football. And then when the defense decides to double cover and take him away, that's when you go somewhere else with the football or you run it. The balance in this offense, based on how they play him, I think is big today.
Yeah, and that's what you've got to do as a defense. Sometimes you double team him, sometimes you play zone, mix it up, give different looks, because he is a guy. He's shown the ability to burn your defense and make big plays.
They'll run play action. using his legs to buy some time. And he's to the 48-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down.
This guy just gives you nightmares. I mean, he's just got so much electricity. He just pulls it down and chews up yards like it's nothing. That's a quarterback. A quarterback doing that to your defense.
Fires to the right. With the catch, it's Penn. Really putting together a threat now. They get the first. It's at the 37. To the air, it's Newton. He's going to let one fly down the middle. And it's an incomplete pass on the deep shot, but the flag is down. Let's check the call.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
You just can't hit the quarterback like that. That is a dumb play, and the defender got caught red-handed. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Wants to go up top. Safe completion on the screen. Breaks into the open. He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line. Big third down in the red zone, and this crowd is getting behind this defense. Headed to the end zone. They'll finally get him stopped at the 1-yard line. What a run there. Trying to slam in. He's going to lose a yard on that one. These fans raising the volume on 2nd and goal. Tries again to get it in.
And with the stuff there, Jesse, on 2nd down, this little third to mid-range, you got 2 downs. What are you thinking here?
Maybe getting your quarterback out on the perimeter and giving him a run-pass option. See if you can get...
Looking for the end zone. And he'll take it in and house it. Touchdown, Fighting Illini. They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point makes it 7-3. A 69-yard touchdown drive. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. On the move from inside his 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. A little bit of feeling each other out. They're down 7-3 as they open this drive. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go. A solid gain on that one, and it goes for naught as the penalty will back them up. Going with the ground game left. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. And the Wolverines have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. Backing up on the first 2 plays now to try to throw it in drive on 3rd down. Under fire. He'll just throw it away, and it'll be 4th down. The Wolverines will line up to punt it away. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. Makes the catch right at the 50. Excellent coverage that time. Didn't give him any room to set up a big return. Here comes the Illini offense back onto the field. Off to a good start here, and back to work now with a 7-3 lead. Looking to throw, it's Newton. Makes a connection. Just what this offense was looking for. Sets him up at the 26 with the first down. Wide receiver comes in motion. With jet sweep pass. And he's brought down after a nice gain. Now down to the 12-yard line. It's first down. unloads quickly. That completion takes them down to the 7-yard line, and they are ready to strike. That's the end of the quarter, and Illinois has the lead here. We've played one. Before we move on, let's have a look at the stats. They are lined up and ready to go and get things started here in the second. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. The lone back's got it, and he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. Not a lot of ground to cover and not much to defend. A big third down in the red zone. From the gun, wants to pass. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19.
You're not going to win a lot of games if you can't protect your quarterback. In their last game, they got sacked 4 times, lost the game. And so far in this one, they're having difficulty again. These guys up front have got to do a better job communicating and giving their QB time.
They'll try to put 3 on the board as the field goal unit comes on. This whole place going to see if this kicker can operate in the sea of noise. It's good. Now up by 7 points here in the second. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Week to week, it's so tough to figure the ACC, which is why this one is notable. Miami is in the unusual position of having to come from behind right now, but those fans that were there when the U was the U, they know this game is not over. It's just a field goal game. They're trailing by 3 to Louisville. It wouldn't be the ACC if there weren't this kind of storyline, guys, and we promise to keep you posted.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Knocked down after picking up 5 out to the 24. They'll leave it with him. This time the defense was ready, and they stop him in his tracks. And the Wolverines are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. Back to throw, it's Underwood. He finds a dead spot in the middle. Nice job to get it past the sticks, and they get him down at the 35. First down, 10 yards to go. Running back searching for a hole. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. The Wolverines trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Pulls it in. It's Gilliam. They make the stop, but there is a flag on the field. We'll see what that's all about.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
So the offense gets an automatic first down after the roughing the passer penalty. And the Wolverines come to the line with a new set of downs. They'll move the wide receiver. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Catch in the middle. It's Gilliam. He's finally stopped, but not before he takes it into the red zone. They'll mark it at the 18.
This defense is going to have their hands full because they're going to need to be comfortable with guys one-on-one on islands in the perimeter of the field, and they're just going to have to make better plays than what we saw right there. They knew this offense was going to try to be aggressive. Got to need better effort in the back end for this defense moving forward.
Got it behind the line. It's Pope. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands. We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. He'll keep it himself. And they'll bring him down after a short pickup. Here comes the offense on 2nd down. To the air. It's Underwood. Quick strike complete. No chance to run, but still a solid pickup on that one. Already in field goal range, but now trying to convert this 3rd and long from the 20. From the gun, wants to pass. Zings it complete to the right. And boy, is he close to that first down, maybe just a couple of inches short. And the O will stay out there and go for it on 4th and inches. Motion from the wideout. Going for the marker on the ground. They stop him short of the marker, and they'll turn it over on downs. The give to the back. Good blocking up front. Great job following it. He's got 6 to the 18. The Fighting Illini with options here on 2nd and short. Quick release on the RPO. They get him stopped at the 26, but that'll be enough for this offense to go to work on 1st down. The give to the tailback. Great penetration by this defense, and they knock him down behind the line. A loss of 1. The Illini just added to its workload after that last play. It's 2nd and long. Looking to fire. Bringing the heat. And the pressure was too much. They get him at the 15.
What a great play. Winning one-on-one, getting home and getting a sack. And that kind of effort is going to get the big house fired up. These 100,000-plus Michigan Wolverine fans are on their feet screaming because of that dominant play right there coming from their D-line.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. And the quarterback goes down. There is a penalty flag on the field, but I think the defense might have the option just to take this play. They'll decline that penalty, obviously very happy with the results of the play. Illinois runs the punt unit onto the field. First time we've seen their punt team this afternoon. Now on the return. Returns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards to help out the O. Off play action on 1st down. And the Heat gets home. They knock him down back at the 45.
But when it's a play-action pass, that quarterback, he really has to sell the fake. He can't tell his offensive lineman's getting beat right away while he's selling the fake. He had no shot.
The Wolverines now with a long way to go to pick up the 1st down. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield. And that deep shot's going to wind up incomplete, but we do have a flag on the field. Let's see what the official says.
Hold.
They'll decline the penalty here and let the result of that play stand. And the Wolverines will bring the punt team onto the field. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Excellent job on the punt. Bounces out of bounds at the 5, and they'll have 95 yards to go in front of them. Off the play fake on 1st down. Throws to the wideout. Got him downfield. And he's brought down after a nice gain. On 1st down from their own 22. They go to the ground. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. They'll take this lead to the 2-minute timeout and see if they can tack on a little more before the break. Or will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? They're setting up the screen. There he goes. And he's got enough for the 1st down. They'll mark it at the 34. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They'll go to the counter. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Dropping back, it's Newton. The throw to the outside is complete. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. More than Kicks it out of the air. At midfield, he's got room. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down. The give to the back. Makes his man miss. And he broke one tackle on the way to a solid pickup there. The offense calls a timeout to stop the clock. Illinois can be aggressive here on 2nd and short. Send the tight end in motion. Now the play fake. Fires complete on the crosser. Dragged down, but they'll move the sticks for a first down. Running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. And look, this guy has some serious moves, and he tried all of them and still didn't get loose. The offense burns his third and final timeout of the half. And as the clock is winding down here in the first half, they'll send out the field goal team. It is good. Put a 3 spot on the board as we finish the third quarter. That's going to wrap up the first half here. And now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Guys, looks like we've had a compelling start to things there in Ann Arbor. And yes, football is a game of inches, but man, is that really the case when you consider the length of some of these possessions. Look, I'm not an analytics guy, but I do know this. The team that sustains drives and just moves the sticks might be the team that comes out on top today. And with that, let's send it back to the guys in the big house.
The Wolverines will kick it off to start the second half. He'll bring it out from inside his own 10. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. The Illinois offense returns to the field, trying to set the tone on the ground in the third. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Dropping back, it's Newton. Pressure coming. Crosses the 30, he's got away. Brought down at the 31 after a pickup of 10 yards on that one. And they'll line up from the 31 on first down. The give. Quick spin on the ride. He'll go out of bounds right at the 40-yard line as this offense continues to show great patience. He'll try it again. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down.
Definitely been tough sledding for this guy, especially in the first half. They gave him the ball a bunch, but they just don't have a ton of yards on the ground to show for it at this point. That looked like a pretty good run, though. You just wondered maybe in the second half, if they keep giving him the football, it may start...
Oh, it's a fumble. Defense scoops it up, and he's headed the other way. He managed a few yards on that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover.
Ball security is so important. Turnovers lose you games, and this guy has put his team in some tough spots. He fumbled last week. He's fumbled again today.
And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. They had to punt it away on their last possession, but man, what great field position this time.
I mean, this is awesome. Like, last possession didn't go great. Now you're set up in an opportunity to get some points. Start thinking about what plays I like, Jesse, as I cross the 50.
There are a lot of offensive coordinators out there, David, and in this position, they like to take a shot right away and try and capitalize on this field position.
He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down. They'll try the run. And they did not let him reach the line to gain. It'll bring up a decision here. A famous writer once said, most men lead lives of quiet desperation. Here is a desperate move. Going for it on fourth down, trailing by double figures. Makes the grab past the marker. Down to the 26-yard line before they ride him out of bounds, and this defense is on its heels. Looking for a man. It's Underwood. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Back to pass. Fires to the big fella. That's a really good tackle there, giving up some size and still making the play. Here's the snap, looking to throw. Caught near the sticks. It's Everett. Defense is there to make the stop, but he's got the first down, and they'll have it first and goal at the 6. Tight end now in motion. They'll run it on first and goal. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. The run up the middle, looking for the score. He's brought down at the 7-yard line, and they are threatening to take it in. It's third and goal and a long way from the end zone. Trying to bowl his way in. Touchdown, Wolverines. They get it into the end zone to pay off that opportunity. Field shrinks, tight end grows. Big targets, big results.
I've never heard it put that way, but you're dang right. That guy is so big. A lot of times you get a DB matched up on him. He can just post him up. A linebacker, he can run by him. So that's why these tight ends are so dangerous down here in this red zone.
And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. From inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Wants to throw. It's Newton. Oh, they're after him. And they get to the quarterback and knock him down back into 16. Fast, physical, and disruptive. Michigan has a rich and storied history of guys up front who can make life miserable for a quarterback.
Just dudes. I mean, guys that win matchups. Guys that, you know, if it's going to be a pass rush on the outside, one-on-one on a tackle, they can go get him at the defensive end spot. And we can mention names, and Hutchinson recently, one of the higher picks in the NFL draft, but always guys that play the same way.
Caught over the middle. It's Penn. They stay aggressive and push their way out to the 33, and it's first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Give to the running back. They stop him cold. Maybe gets a yard to the 34. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Wants to go up top. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. Runs through a tackle. He gets it past the first down marker, and a really nice job to set up that screen and move the sticks. From the gun, running back gets to give. Really putting together a threat now. They get the first. It's at the 37. Illinois move the chains on the ground. Let's see if they run behind that big offensive line again. They'll give it to the back. He'll go out of bounds, but a solid pickup on the run. Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on first down. It's 2nd and 3. From the gun, the ground game. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. Big noise in the big house for this huge third down play. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a third down stop. And this kicker is turning into old reliable. He's already knocked through a couple today. This crowd trying to do its part to get inside the kicker's head.
And sometimes I just feel like fourth down, man. Just go for it every time. Like the field goal miss, make rate. And listen, kickers have improved the last couple of years, but we left some points off the scoreboard there.
Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. Last drive went for 6. We'll see if they can do it again. They'll go to the ground. Just willed his way for a couple out to the 35. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Back to throw, it's Underwood. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete. After the second down misfire, looking at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, wants to pass. fires it down the seam. He's got it! And what a huge chunk play for this offense. Just exactly what you need to move the ball down the field. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. And the Wolverines have it with a 1st and 10. They'll run it in the red zone. It's Claiborne. Wrestled down at the 8-yard line as they threaten deep in the red zone. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. The play action fake. Looking to the end zone. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover.
And he makes a play in the back end. Nice job reading the pass, and that's his 2nd of the season. This guy, unbelievable job seeing the quarterback, breaking on the quarterback, and going and getting that big play.
They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. Here's the handoff. Building momentum, picking up a chunk of yardage, moving the chains out to the 34. That's the end of the period. It's Illinois with the lead. Let's take a quick look at the national rankings to see how this playoff race is shaping up. One more period to go to see who can make the winning plays and come home with the victory. They go back to work in the final period of this one. Right back to the well. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Got stuffed on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Fires to the wideout. He's got an open man. And the explosive play, and they're on the move all the way to the 44. Finally, some signs of life from this offense, which has done nothing in the 2nd half. It's 1st and 10. And a pickup of 8 opens a world of opportunities on 2nd and 2. Got a little work done on 1st down, now back to the line. Leaves it with the running back. He's knocked down a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage.
You just need more from your offensive line. 2nd and short like that, you'd love to be able to fire off the ball and pick that up running it, but the defense was able to get penetration. They were able to get a stop, and now you set up 3rd down. And this offensive line is going to have to play a lot better here.
They are on the move as they pick up the 1st down. They'll spot it at the 28. They'll run it out of the shotgun. And he's ridden to the ground, but there's also a flag down. Let's check the call. That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. 1st down here for the offense. They're trying to slow that rush down with the draw. Strikes first, delivers the punch, and works his way to the 31. They've already peeled more than 3 minutes off the clock on this drive as they stand over the ball on 2nd down. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Big 3rd down as the crowd gets behind this defense. To the air, it's Newton. Using the quick game. He'll be stopped short of the line to gain. Needed about 3 more on that one. So here we are on 4th down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. And this one splits the uprights. That gives him a 16-10 lead. And he takes this from inside the 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. So here comes the Michigan offense. He wants to start this drive with a pass. Fires deep on the run. And it goes through his hands. Oh, he had an explosive play right there for the taking, but couldn't reel it in. Leaves it with the back. Getting that push. A pickup of 4 out to the 26. Now looking for that first down on 3rd and short from the 26. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. The Wolverines will call on their punt team. And the returner will be brought down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And the offense takes the field, ready to go back to work. Power football with the run. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. Trying play action. Rushes on him. Just gets rid of it before the heat. Good job to toss that ball out of bounds and avoid the loss. Big noise, big house, trying to rile up this Michigan deep. Oh, he's got some space. He gets those chains moving, gets it out to the 42-yard line. Illinois coming out with a 1st and 10. They'll try the counter. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Motion from the wide receiver. Quarterback touch pass on the jet sweep. Stuffed on back-to-back plays. He got nothing, and now they're looking at 3rd and long. Back to pass, it's Newton. Here comes the heat. And they can't make the play on 3rd down. Illinois lining up to punt this one away. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. That thing was down for a while, but the big bounce carried it into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. Things had not gone the way they had planned, but maybe an opportunity to salvage this bumpy ride so far and avoid the upset. And they'll spot it at the 45. That's good enough for a 1st down.
And you've created some great momentum, getting the stop, forcing the punt, now getting it back to your offense. Your offense starting to get in a groove. Late in the game, you need some big plays.
Just wonder how much panic there is right now on the defensive side of the football, too. Because of what you just said, David, they can feel and sense the momentum leaving them right now with the lead. So someone defensively better step up here soon and make a play.
And the Wolverines with myriad options after that big pickup on 1st down. He's going to lose a yard on that one. They'll try to pick up this 3rd down and keep the drive moving close to midfield. The give on the inside. Got enough for the 1st down. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. The Wolverines are marching down the field. After the run, now to throw. Pulls it in, it's Stewart. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. Wants to fire on 2nd down. And the defense picks up a sack, getting the quarterback down at the 44. And as I saw that screen start to develop, I thought, big play coming. I just didn't realize it would be for the defense.
Yeah, they got in there quick, and the quarterback's supposed to see that, right? He's supposed to let him come upfield, buy a little bit of time, but then he's got to get rid of it, get it to his playmaker. The offense did not do their end of the bargain. Quarterback got sacked.
Now 3rd and long, and trying to play catch-up in more ways than one after that earlier sack. Looking for a man. It's Underwood. It's complete. Good execution. They move the sticks, and they've got it at the 33. To the air on 1st down. Finds his tight end. Clock stops. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is looking for a play to close this deal out. And the Wolverines can really attack on this 2nd and short. Looking to fire. Snagged in the middle. It's Pope. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is. Amazing how many times an offensive holding penalty will stall a drive. We'll see if the offense can overcome it. 2nd down, he'll throw it. Quickly out to the tight end. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
You just get the feeling this defense is going to make it hard on them, right? They've got the lead, it's late, and they're going to try to tackle everybody inbounds. Offense is going to have to really work for this and be smart. You got to attack the sidelines. You got to throw first downs. You got to keep this thing moving vertically down the field.
It'll be 3rd and long. Under fire. Didn't get nearly enough done on 3rd down. He's brought down at the 31-yard line. He'll go up top, maybe a deciding play here. It's incomplete, and they desperately needed to keep that drive going, and they couldn't make the connection. They'll run it to keep this clock grinding. What a nice job by the defense to string it out, not give him any kind of alley, and knock him down for a loss. Calling a timeout here, you have to avoid making a mistake in this situation. To the ground with the back. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And the running game has gone in the wrong direction. The offense tries to turn it around and go forward on 3rd down. Back to throw, it's Newton. Here's a heat. And couldn't quite find the crevice he needed to pick up the 1st down. Illinois runs the punt unit onto the field. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. Not able to pop the big return, but they've got the ball back and ready to go with a fresh possession. No time to waste here. They've got to get set and pick up chunk yardage. Caught in the backfield, it's Claiborne. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few. They'll try to kick it into overdrive. Clock's running, 2nd down coming. Quickly gets everyone set. They spike it to stop the clock. They've got to move quickly here. Still a chance, but they've got to force the ball down the field. On 3rd down, he drops to throw. Finds his man. It's Everett. Really nice job there to pick up the 1st down and get it to their own 41. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play, trying to preserve every minute possible. Grabbed over the middle. It's Everett. He makes the stop at the 48. That'll be enough for a 1st down and a pickup of 10. Now they've got to hustle to the line and get set. The offense going to try again on another play. They'll just spike it on this one. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. Back to pass. Got it in the middle. It's Everett. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. Got to get to the line quickly for this 3rd down play. Time is not on their side. Down 6 late. 4th down looming. They'll have to get this to stay in it. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Deep shot for the end zone. It's incomplete, but here comes the flag, and I think it's going to be a 1st down.
Pass interference. Defense.
So the PI penalty cost the defense 15 and a fresh 1st down for the Oak. To throw, it's Underwood. Going back to the well, another deep ball. It's incomplete, and the last chance is just out of reach, and that's going to do it. They get the W, and with that being win number 6, looks as if they're going bowling, guys.
And that's a good moment for this squad, right? Like, you start every season, you have big goals. It usually starts with your conference championship and winning a national championship, maybe going to the playoffs. Everybody has different goals, but getting to a bowl is always sweet, and this team's eligible.
I know the coaches are really happy about this, the AD and the fans, because they know what it means for the program, right? You're going to get those 15 extra practices at the end of the year to help develop young talent. Looking ahead to next season, but that's next season. There's still a lot of football left to go this year. Let's just see how good of a bowl game they can get to.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.